Hey YouTube, the Opposition of Team Sorcerers here, and welcome back to What If Wednesday. And this was another suggestion from my friend DragonMaster25, and that is, what if 6 Samurais were my favourite and signature deck? Well, here's the thing about 6 Samurais. Now, originally, I didn't hate them, because they came out back in 2007, they were pretty tough to deal with because of Airu and Great Shogun Shen, but I had no reason to hate them until the legendary 6 Samurais came along, and then Shen just made it one of my most hated decks of all time, along with Naturia Beast. Just that card existing, just really made me hate them. But going back to the original 6 Samurais, now here's something you probably didn't know about me when it comes to 6 Samurais, but back in 2007 I actually built the deck. I had basically everything except Grandmaster, because at the time Grandmaster was a secret rare and it was just too expensive and too difficult to get. I mean, I dread to think how much it would have cost back then. Sorry, just looking at the fusion, Secret 6 Samurai, Rian. So yeah, anyway, but I don't think I ever really played it against anyone or showed it. I know I never showed it on camera. But yeah, I didn't have it for very long though. But yeah, in this timeline I would have kept that deck, and obviously a Great Shogun Shen would have been my ace monster, and I guess would have ended up becoming my favourite card, considering it's quite easy to bring out, just needing 2 or more 6 Samurais on the field. But yeah, there would have been a way to pull that off, but I would have done everything I possibly could to get hold of a playset of Grandmaster. I don't know how long it would have taken me, but eventually I would have got it. And then of course picked up the support that came out in Gladiator's Assault and Phantom Darkness. But yeah, that's what I would have mainly played in tournaments, and I would have done pretty well actually, even going into Dark Return for that, I would think. I mean, maybe I'd have done a lot better in the regional from that year and actually qualified, and tried to go to it. And yeah, I would have stuck with it even when synchros came into the game. Not sure what synchros and tuners I would have incorporated into the deck, but I would have found a way somehow. Now, going into when the legendary 6 Samurais came into the game, I mean, it depends, because I can't remember if he specified if I actually would have liked the legendary 6 Samurais in this timeline or not. I mean, if I did and had no problem with Shen, then yeah, it would have been a huge improvement. I would have just played that and all the others. and yeah, just gone with it basically. And yeah, I would have done better in tournaments than I actually did in the original timeline. Whether or not I still would have made Legendary Hero is another story, but I don't think I'd have played it as much or worked on it as much. And yeah, would have stuck with playing it this way even when Xian went to 1. And of course, just, stuck with it even through the Zexal era, Arc 5 era, and even Vrain's era. And there wouldn't have been any reason for me to end up quitting tournaments, I don't think. Or at least there wouldn't have been much reason. And I don't think I would have ended up quitting current format either. So I would have still kept playing it despite the way the game was. And Retition format wouldn't have ever become a thing, I would think. I'd like to think I would have been one of the very best players around, even though I wouldn't have touched anything meta, really. And yeah, Six Samurais were basically meta in 2011, and I guess the March 2012 format, but obviously in this timeline I would have only played Six Samurais because I genuinely liked them, not because it was meta. But if we're still going with a timeline where I still would have hated Legendary Six Samurai Xian and Naturia Beast, then I would have refused to play them. Yeah, I just absolutely despise them. They're like 2 old arch nemesis cards of mine. And Legendary Six Samurai Xian would have been the only Six Samurai monster that I hated with a passion. Because yeah, I would have still hated Gladiator Beast Heraclinos and would have still been dismayed when Legendary Six Samurai Xian came into the game, and I'd be like, why? It's bad enough that Heraclinos exists. So I'd have been like, oh hell no. So yeah, out of all the support cards that came in Storm of Ragnarok, Legendary Six Samurai Xian would have been the only one that I refused to play. But it would have been easier to make some other synchros, although I feel like people would still question me on why I'm not playing Legendary Six Samurai Xian and even give me shit over it. It would be like the whole thing with Darklaw and Dragoon all over again, and it would just really annoy me. I mean, but I don't think it would deter me from playing Six Samurais, unlike what happened with Darklaw in 2015, because with Masked Heroes I basically made a fun version, not a meta version, the meta version being Darklaw.deck. And I got so annoyed with people giving me shit for not playing Darklaw, and got fed up with people saying, oh, why are you not playing Darklaw? You have to play Darklaw, that I just stopped playing it, that deck, just to stop people bothering me. But in this scenario, it would go 2 ways. I'd probably get so annoyed and upset that I'd either stop playing Six Samurais altogether and go back to mainly playing Dark Magician and Elemental Heroes, or I'd probably just stop playing competitively altogether and just continue to play Six Samurais for the fun of it, and just not bother with going to tournaments anymore. But yeah, that's how fed up I would be of people giving me shit for not playing Legendary Six Samurai Shien. I know I'd still end up be jumping for joy when it got limited, but annoyed when it got semi-limited and then back to free. But whether or not I'd end up coming back to tournaments, I don't know, but maybe eventually I'd end up stopping playing current format altogether, especially if I'd still get grief for not playing Legendary Six Samurai Shien, and then maybe I would eventually come up with the idea of creating Retition format, and still have it where Legendary Six Samurai Shien and Naturia Beast were banned. So they would actually be allowed in my format. Well, I don't know what I'm saying, because Six Samurais actually are allowed in Retition format, but like I said, Shien and Beast are banned, and at the time of recording, I mean, this may have happened already, but there is a plan to ban Cunning of the Six Samurai. In fact, maybe it would have already been banned by the time you're seeing this, just because it makes Six Samurais OTK too easily. As you may have seen when I used my Odd Eyes Dimension Dragon deck against Moss Gungner's Six Samurai deck, he just straight up wiped me out in one turn because of it. So it was like, what? Followed by, I didn't get a chance to do anything. It was just nuts. So there was me thinking Shien and Beast were mainly the problem, but Cunning just never occurred to me. So yeah, that would have ended up. That ended up getting straight up banned in my format just to stop that. And I feel like I would have just done the same thing in this timeline, just to make Six Sams more tolerable. But yeah, that's basically what would happen if Six Samurais were my favourite and signature deck in this timeline. Although I still would have continued to play like 2 or 3 copies of Great Shogun Shien. In fact, with Elder, the low-level one that's basically a Cyber Dragon, it would have been even easier to bring out Great Shogun Shien. But then again, because of its own floodgate effect, where only one spell or trap can be played at a time, I think by the opponent, maybe something would have had to have been done about it. I don't know. It wouldn't have ended up being banned in my format. More likely limited, but in the real timeline, it would depend how much play it would be. How much play it would get. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching.